For 6 years now, the community of St. Josaphat in Bayside has had a mass and procession in honor of St. Padre Pio. They've always invited a special guest.
It's great to be back. You know, Brooklyn and Queens will always be home for me. And coming here to St. Josaphat's for the Padre Pio procession and Mass, I've done it for a number of years, and I was delighted when I was invited to come back.
He says that he's been coming to these processions every year, regardless of his current location, for 2 reasons.
I have a personal devotion to Padre Pio, so that's one great blessing. But the other, quite frankly, is the faith of the people here. It's just amazing to see how joyful they are, how committed they are to the church.
Achille Di Libero is good friends with Bishop Caggiano and has organized this event every single year. This year, it falls on the 12th anniversary of Padre Pio's canonization.
The people who are here tonight, they're from all over. They're from all over different parishes. They come from Astoria, they come from Brooklyn, and some people from Staten Island.
Starting a little before sundown, Bishop Caggiano celebrated Mass with the pastor of St. Josaphat, Father Andrzej Kloczek. After the Mass, a procession through the streets of Bayside with an image of Our Lady of Fatima and an image of Padre Pio, these saints who've touched so many lives.
He did a lot of favor for me and my family, my whole family.
He helped my father. He almost passed like 7 years ago. And I know he helped him because I could smell the roses.
Padre Pio lived a life of suffering. The smell of roses is said to have come from deep wounds in his hands and his feet. This is called the stigmata, wounds that correspond exactly to the wounds of Christ's Passion. The stigmata has been miraculously impressed on saints like Padre Pio, as well as St. Francis of Assisi, so that they could be living examples of the suffering of Christ. Padre Pio bore the stigmata, and all the pain with it, for 50 years.
He accepted all the sufferings, no matter what, you know. And his famous quote, "Pray, hope, and don't worry," that's why I went by, every day, so.
He tells it like it is in his life. He did not sugarcoat the faith. The faith demands challenge and sacrifice, and he was not afraid of that.
He's one of the greatest saints of all time, of our time anyway. And he's not a saint of 100 years ago, he's a saint of today.
All through the streets of Bayside and back to St. Josaphat's, over 100 people bore witness to the saint who lived in our century and walked among us not even 50 years ago. Reporting for Currents from Bayside, I'm Katie Breidenbaugh.